I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
All right, listen up, nacho chips. Quiet down, crispy potatoes. This is the moment Velveeta's been preparing you for, and you're not about to crack under pressure. Today's the day to go all in on the drip. Velveeta's Heat and Eat Queso is the MVP of any game day spread, so stick by them, and you'll be golden. Now get out there and make delicious history. No tailgate party is complete without Velveeta.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
To another episode of The Reality Is. As always, it's Noor, and I am riding solo today, and I'm going to talk to you about Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we'll start right away with Real Housewives of Potomac. Because that's the show that I've watched so far, and that's the one I'm going to talk about because I have notes on it. I'm also doing a little something special in the middle of the episode before I talk about Salt Lake City that I'm hoping that I can incorporate into more of my solo episodes. So listen to that, and let's get into it. Real Housewives of Potomac this week, this episode was called Chin Checked. And it was exciting because we also got taglines, which I have here. Let's talk about these taglines. I'll be honest, I think I may have forwarded them when I was actually watching the show, but let's just get into it. Giselle's tagline is, "When the nest is empty, it's time for naked, grown, and sexy." Not interested. Nope. Let's see. Stacey's next. This one I think is my favorite. "Some people believe the lies, but still I rise." It's very realize. You know, if you were on the internet in the early 2000s, late 90s, that's what this gives me. And that's lucky for Stacey, some of my favorite internet nonsense. So big ups to Stacey on that one. Kiarna's is, "Beauty is my business, but getting you together is my specialty." You know, I like it. I think it's good. I couldn't tell you what Kiarna's previous tagline was because I barely remembered that Kiarna was on the show. Ashley's is, "This cherry blossom is ready for her second bloom." You know, the thing with cherry blossoms is, ironically, is that they bloom once for a very short period of time. And then they just die. And then you have to wait an entire year for another bloom. So if Ashley's bloom happens every time she joins a season or starts a new season, I guess that works. because that's pretty much what Giselle does. You know, Ashley had the one storyline for a long time, which is that she's divorcing Michael. Well, first it was Michael's groping people, so she's lying for Michael. Then it's Michael's cheating, so then she's lying for Michael, and then she's divorcing Michael and still lying for Michael. And then it was, I'm divorcing Michael and I'm not divorced to Michael. And so now I guess if her storyline is going to be fresh every season, then yes, I support it. But the cherry blossom is a bad one to put in there. Anyway, Wendy's is, I put the high in higher education, and oh, her mugshot was a confirmation of that. And so I support it. Let's see. Tia's is, you can only clutch pearls if you have them, and darling, I have loads. Listen, a British lady saying darling, it's giving Lisa Vanderpump, it's giving Caroline Stanberry. I'm obsessed with it. I adore it. Yes. And Angel says, hell hath no fury like an angel scorned. Um, I don't know. I have to wait and see if that's true, because this episode, I'm hesitant. We'll get to it, but I feel like Angel's been put in a corner by Kiarna. I think Angel is going to fall victim of, you have to stay loyal to the person that brought you on the show, and that doesn't always pay out for everybody. But let's get into it. Let's talk about the episode. It is called Chin Checked, and hilariously, the episode is called that because the fight is between Kiarna, a person I forgot that was on the show, and Angel, a person I've known for 35 seconds. Anyway, we open up on the happenings around town. Angel is house hunting. Ashley's working out. And I just need to say, Ashley's fucking arms are ripped. They look so good. But working out with a full face of makeup is crazy work, and I don't understand it, and I'll never understand it. Stacy and her friend AJ are at a pageant school with Arabella, and then they FaceTime Timo, who is, you know, Stacy's ex-husband, current boyfriend, aka Arabella's papa. And she reminds us again that her kid doesn't know that they're back together. And I have to say, Stacy, yeah, that's a good idea. She's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do you do in this situation? I think you shut the fuck up. I think that you shut the fuck up, Stacy. Listen, it's fun and games for the show. Do not get back together with this person if you're not serious about it. And also, look, the reason why Giselle's mad is because this is a repeated storyline. Okay? You paid a man to be your boyfriend. Hello, Kenya Moore, allegedly. You got back together with your ex-husband. Oh, also Kenya Moore. And you know what? I always said Stacey kind of looks like Kenya too, to me. Like, they have like a similar kookiness, and they're also Michigan girlies, and they're also pageant girlies. Is Stacey just trying to be like Kenya Moore? Because I might love her for it. And because, you know, the other thing that with Kenya was they all piled up on her because she was new, and that's how she won so many people, because everybody hates a pylon, and that's how Stacey's winning us over, you know. Anyway, we head to the docks for a meeting with Kiarna and Wendy, and it's to talk about their current situation. It's very Sopranos coded to me, like the sunglasses, them sitting at the dock, staring out into the water, not really making eye contact. Then they start talking about horse race stuff, Preakness. Very Sopranos coded. And yes, I know Maryland is horse country, but like talking about horse races while sitting on the docks in a nonsensical feud with a person. It's just very Sopranos to me. But they talk about hosting separate horse events, and like Kiarna's trying again. And there's no beef, guys. The beef is vegan. This is impossible meat. Okay. It's so made up. It's so nonsensical. I don't understand it, and I don't like it. Okay. Wendy's like, look, I've been on the show making sure that when these women attack you, like, you're okay. So why are you coming at me at Ashley's event and talking to me crazy about this like makeup comment? And Kiarna essentially is saying that she wants an off-camera friendship and not just an on-camera friendship. And like, look, Kiarna, I have to agree with Wendy here. When Wendy says the level of handholding that Kiana is looking for is not something I can give to you as a grown woman, I'm with you 1000%. But also, like, Kiana, you guys are coworkers. You guys are coworkers, okay? Let's just remind everybody this. Yes, we watch the show being like, they're friends, this is a group of friends. No, these are coworkers. These are your coworkers. Do I have coworkers that I'm besties with at work? Hell yeah. Okay. I love my besties at work. I was gonna say at school. At work. Am I trying to hang out with them off work? No. Do I want them to text me off Teams? Only if they're talking shit about somebody higher up. But we're not friends like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to hang out with people and be buddy buddy. Like, if I have a coworker and I see them outside, I'm going to say, hey, hi, how are you? And then we're going to move on with our lives because we have separate lives outside of work. And I think that Kiarna's not really understanding that. But also, I think Kiarna's having a full blown classic private experience. And if you're new here, you don't know what that is. It means that no one's actually really mad at you. You're projecting your own feelings about somebody else's feelings about you. And it's just a private experience. It's happening in your own head. And I have to say, in this situation, that is what Kiarna is doing. And I love Wendy because Wendy looks straight into the camera and she cackles. She cackles at Kiarna. And then they flip each other off. And I kind of love it. Like, I kind of love that Wendy's like, Kiarna, this is so stupid. Like, you don't need to do this. I'm just going to laugh it off because actually this is so nonsensical. And I kind of like think every fight should end that way. I think that that's really funny. Next we go to Angel's house and we spent some family time there. We learn about her mom who passed away like 10 years ago. We spent some time with her dad. She's like preparing a meal with her husband. And then she shares a story about her mom's ghost getting upset about her husband Bobby wearing shoes in the house. Listen, that's the kind of ghost I'm trying to be. I will haunt you about things like wearing shoes indoors. Okay. That's the kind of ghost I want to be. Like, I want to be the ghost that's like, really? You're going to leave the basement lights on? That's weird. Like, I want to be the ghost that's like annoyed that you left the cabinets open, you know? That's the kind of ghost I want to be. I want to be a cleanliness ghost. You know, I want to be the cleanliest ghost that there is. I want a ghost that you should have around. I will be the ghost that reminds you that you have, well, why won't you remind you? I will open the laundry machine and I will move your wet clothes into the dryer because you forgot to move your wet clothes into the dryer. That's the kind of ghost I'm trying to be. But I will be haunting my children if they think that they can start walking around on the rugs with their shoes on, because that's insane. Anyway, Angel tells Bobby that Giselle said that Kiarna said that Angel tells Bobby that Giselle said that Kiarna said that Kiarna chin-checked Angel. And Angel's like, what the fuck? Who says shit like that? Who says chin-check? Like, that's a very violent thing to do. And, you know, I think ultimately what it is that Angel and Kiarna are both having a similar conversation, which is like, why are you disrespecting me in front of this dumbass group? Like, if we are actually friends, why is this happening? And unfortunately, girls, there is nothing that pulls apart a 20-year friendship, more than coming on a Real Housewives show together. Okay, we've seen it time and time again. All right. Honestly, it makes some of the most interesting dynamic. If you are not thick as thieves, in the words of Caroline Manzo, you will fall apart. And hilariously, it didn't work out for Caroline Manzo. She doesn't talk to her sister. So, you know, it's not going to work out in your favor. You need to show up as a strong front, you know. I think Kiarna telling Giselle like, oh, I had to chin check Angel, and then Angel being like, why did you say that? We don't have that kind of friendship. Like, why do you think you would need to chin check me if you thought that I wasn't sticking up for you? Like, that's a weird thing to say. And rather than it just like dropping there, I think the issue is that just Giselle got involved. And that was Kiarna's stupidity right there, right? Like it's like Kiarna asserting her dominance over Angel. Angel, who's like a bajillionaire or whatever, and like a football wife. And so I think I think that puts Angel in a weird place to be like, no, actually, I don't really even need this show, okay? I don't need to be on the show. You need like, I think that that's really the dynamic. And we'll get into it later when they like have it out at the Preakness pre-party, but I think that's really what it is. Anyway, next we head to lunch with Stacy, where she meets with Jassy, our friend of from last season. And they shared that they bonded when Mia ghosted them at her birthday party in Miami. I completely forgot about that. Thank you, editors, for reminding me. Because I was like, who went to, did they go to Miami last season? I couldn't remember. Anyway, Jassy's planning her wedding, whatever. And then they start talking about the Preakness pre-parties, and we realize that there's, I think we knew that there was going to be a party before when Wendy and Kiarna were meeting at the docks or whatever, but like it's obvious that now it's becoming like dueling Preakness parties, a preak-off, if you will, between Wendy and Kiarna. But that's not important. What's more important is that Stacy tells Jassy about the gang up, how the group is coming at her about her divorce, the TJ stuff. She didn't bring up the bad breath stuff, but I do believe that she probably did to tell Jassy there. Or she didn't, because she was like, I don't want Jassy to make a face that confirms that maybe I do have bad breath, Anyway, she says, doesn't matter, because guess what? The word on the street is that Giselle is with a mystery man. And this is so confusing because I don't know if they did this on purpose. They've made this mistake before. The editors have made this mistake before where they like blur out a part of it, but then they forget to blur out another part of it. But they blur out this man's face that's in a picture with Giselle, and then they show Jassy looking him up. We know he's a retired NFL player. And then it said his name on the phone. It said Sean Springs, who's like 50 years old, and he's a retired NFL player. I think he used to play for the Commanders and some other players or some other teams. But I was like, I think that was that a mistake? Because we saw his name. Why didn't you just show us his face? That's so weird. Anyway, so Stacy's like, how dare Giselle say da 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 when one, she got back together with Jamal, and two, she has a secret boyfriend and she's not telling anybody what's going on. And you know what, Stacy, you have a great point. We've been bringing this up with Giselle for ages. The thing is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Giselle, I saw a meme, and it was one of the funniest things. I'm going to try to pull it up. It was one of the absolute funniest things after the whole Wendy fiasco. And it was a meme that said, hold please, it said, a nuclear bomb could be dropped in central Potomac, and amidst the rubble and ash, the only thing left standing would be Giselle Bryant looking like she got dressed in the dark and offering no information about herself. And you know what? That's the reality about Giselle. Giselle she's like Teflon, okay? The lady, you can't bring her down. Okay, you want to try to, okay, she's getting railed by a hot retired football player. Good for her. But I do think she should talk about it. Bring him on camera, okay? And she's made it very clear. She said the bedroom is open. She's walking around. Her tagline is about being naked. So go off, I guess. We go to Tia at home having a parenting discussion with her husband. It's like a little awkward. I hate watching this. Like I hate it in real life. I think it like gives me PTSD because I do have a husband and I do have to like come to the same page about parenting with him. And so they're like just talking about getting on the same page of parenting. And I just love Tia because she's talking about how her mom used to like do these really over the top things to like scare her. And I love it because she says you have to be marginally insane so that your kids know that you're capable of doing anything. Guys, that is such good parenting advice. Like, I think that that's really good because I would say in my marriage, it's the same situation, like where I don't say anything. And then when I do say something to my kids, sometimes I just go off the handle and they're like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from? Whereas my husband is like consistently just like trying to like teach them lessons. And I think they just started like blurring his voice out. So I do think that my kids think that I'm marginally insane. Also, my kids have seen me like go full Karen on people. I don't mean Karen like Karen Huger, like a DUI. I mean Karen like yelling at customer service situations, never at like a waiter or anything. I mean, you guys, if you've been around for a while, you remember the JetBlue story. But I do that. If I have done stuff like that, my kids have said that I get really weird on the phone, which I think is their way of saying like you get really stern. And yeah, so I think my kids are aware that I am marginally insane. Like they know that if I was to get real mad, I'm like Lala in several seasons ago from Vanderpump Rules being like, you want to get popped? That's me. So I think that Tia's right, and I do love her. Anyway, we head over to some store, some like old lady clothes store that just, of course, Giselle has invited the ladies to. It's Giselle, Tia, Wendy, and Angel. They're shopping. Again, Tia becomes my favorite because she's already dogging on Giselle being a terrible dresser. It gets accompanied by the wonderful editors flashing up her greatest flops. It's just so yummy, so good. Loved it. Giselle says, girls, we haven't been having fun, which I disagree, Giselle. I'm having a blast. I'm having a great time. I don't know what you're talking about, but she says she wants to be Captain Save the Hose, and they're going to do the 4 seasons in the Caribbean at an island called, I wrote it down somewhere, like Nevis and Butthead. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, they're going to go there. And Giselle's like, Giselle says the last time I hosted an event was 2018 when we went to New Orleans, and you guys never let me plan an event again, but people are in jail, so somebody's got to plan something. Love her. Angel asks Wendy how the chat with Kiana went, and Wendy's like, I think it went fine. Cut to them screaming at each other and flipping each other off, which I thought was great. They asked Wendy if there's going to be a problem with the Preakness parties, and Wendy's like, honestly, there really shouldn't be. Like, there's no reason for Kiana to get mad at me, which I agree. Giselle pops in. Giselle says, hey, where are we with the chin check stuff? Are we good? Are we good on the chin check stuff? Which is like, really, it's just, this is why Giselle is going to be the only thing left standing. the final word on the street in a post-apocalyptic Potomac, okay? Because at that party, at Angel's party, when it was a whole chin check thing, and Kiana said, hey, I'm really sorry. I think I said it. I'm not sure. I guess I did. I'm really sorry. That was it. There's absolutely no reason for Giselle to bring it up again. But Giselle sees, she's got like a third eye. She's got like a sixth sense for like cracks in a friendship. And she's like, ooh, I'm going to put my foot right into it. I'm going to put these cankles right into the cracks. By the way, I can say that as a person who has had cankles since birth to today. Okay. Body by cankles. She's going to put her foot in it because she senses something. She senses something between Angel and Kiana. She's like, what happened with the chin check thing? And Angel's like, oh yeah, I actually ended up talking to Kiana, and she said she never even said that. And Giselle's like, what? Mouths agape. They're like, what? And Giselle says in confessional, don't ever think that what I told you is not true. Y'all say enough foolishness that I don't even actually have to make things up anymore. Giselle, justice for my beloved Candy ass. Okay, justice for the Basset Hounds, because she admits that she lies all the time. And and again, when she sees legitimate cracks, like she knows how to jump right on it, and it just works out for her. But anyway, Angel's like, yeah, I mean, if she really did say that, I think that that's really messed up, because why would you say chin checked as a woman who was like hit? Like if you were a victim of violence, why would you talk about hitting another person? That's so weird, right? And so she's like getting flustered or whatever. But 2 days later, we head to Kiana's Preakness party where dusty ass Greg shows up. What is it with Gregs? Because I think about this Greg and I think about Dr. Greg on Married to Medicine. And I don't like either of them, okay? And I am, you know what? The only good thing about this scene before the ladies arrive is that Kiana's mother is present. Give her a flute. Give her a flute. Okay. Give her a champagne flute immediately. I adore her. Okay. Stacey, Ashley, and Giselle arrive first, and Giselle gives out invites to the Four Seasons. Oh, here's where it says Four Seasons at Nevis. Stacey says she's surprised that she was invited, and babe, much like we have to tell Kiana that Wendy and her are just coworkers, we need to remind you that this is a work trip. You're invited because it's mandatory. Okay? You're invited because HQ said you got to get invited. Okay. Human Resources said you have to invite every single person on the cast, Giselle. You're not actually paying for this trip. Bravo is. Okay. Everybody's a mandatory all hands meeting. All right. Tia, Angel, and Wendy arrive. But then was weird because there was not a place setting for Angel. You had to pull a chair separately for her. It was very strange. Something felt disconnected there. Was she not expecting Wendy? It was very weird. But anyway, Giselle tries to start it first with Kiana versus Wendy. She's like, so is there going to be a party? Is there going to be a preak-off because we got the 2 Preakness parties or whatever? And then Kiana says something like, Wendy likes to be first, better, best. And Wendy, I have to agree. I'm right with her. This is coming out of nowhere. It's so weird. It's very strange, but it doesn't matter because I'm obsessed with Kiana's mom in the back, just slowly fuming. Just these ladies are arguing about the preak-offs. And Tia's right that her mom is in the back making it known that she's present. Okay. She's got a fierce energy in the back. I want to hang out with her. Okay. I want her to have Kiana's flute. Anyway, the Wendy and Kiana fight again makes no sense. So then Giselle tries it again. She's like, hey, let's circle back on the chin check thing. So what happened, guys? Because Angel was really mad the other day. And Kiana's like, I did talk to Angel. I said, I'm sorry again for saying that. And Angel's like, no, I get it. I'm okay. I accept it. And you know what, Kiana? I apologize if you think that I was not a good enough friend for you. I wasn't standing up for you. And Wendy and Giselle and Tia are like, wait, we were prepared for a fight. Your energy is very confusing, Angel, because how are you way less mad now? Here's the thing, guys. The same way Giselle and Miss Robin Dixon can have off-camera fights and figure it out, this is the same thing that these two can do. I don't think there's absolutely anything wrong with Angel and Kiana having an off-camera conversation where everything is resolved. Now, however, when Kiana says, I don't know what you talk to these women about, but it better not happen again, or that better be the last time that you talk to them about me again, I was like, what? That was so unnecessarily it was just so unnecessarily assertive, very asserting my dominance over you as a first season housewife versus me a second season. Kiana, I love her feisty energy. I love when she fights with Stacey. I think that there are parts of Kiana that are wonderful, but you're acting as if you are Ashley Darby. You are acting as if you are an institution within Real Houses of Potomac, babe. That's not, it was just so strange. It came out of nowhere. And I have to agree because Wendy's that's a bizarre way of dealing with the situation. I think it's very strange. And then Angel starts picking a beef with Wendy that confirmed for me that Kiana had a conversation with Angel off cam and was like, I need you to stick up for me. I want you to be my soldier. Okay. And it's just very strange. And it's multiple things can be true. Angel and Kiana are allowed to have an off camera conversation where they squash their beef. And Kiana talking that crazy to Angel at the table was weird and inappropriate. Angel not having a reaction to that, but then instead being and Wendy, why are you trying to turn this into something bigger? Why are you coming? It's okay, you're going to fight with Wendy because Kiana doesn't like Wendy. That's what this is. And it does come off phony or whatever. But then Angel says, let's try to use some emotional intelligence. Ooh, I love that. I loved it. I loved when she said that. I loved that when she said she ended her fight with Wendy, because Wendy's like, how you just came crazy at me was like, wow. And Angel goes, well, wow to you too, Wendy. Wow to you too, Wendy. I don't know. I loved it. Greg comes in. He gives a stack of cash to Kiana. He says, here, take some money. Shut the fuck up. Go gamble on some horses. They all pile into a Sprinter van, pop a champagne bottle, and they go look at horses. And then they cheers to having a good old time. Giselle, being Giselle, says, also cheers to Angel because she's upset. Giselle is so messy. Cheers to Angel because she looks upset. And Angel says, I'm not upset. I was mad. Huh? And they all go, okay. And then Kiana's like, look, it happens when you join a new group. It's different dynamics, et cetera, et cetera. Again, all of it just very much felt like to me that they have had a convo off cam. And then Stacy's like, well, if that's the case, if you're supposed to be like nice when you're new to the group, then why aren't you being nice to me, Kiana? And then Kiana and Stacy start to go in on it. And Stacy's about to go into a whole monologue about when I was going through da-da-da-da. But then Kiana like dribbles her drink on her chin and she needs a napkin. And then Wendy gets weird. Wendy has a history of being a little bit of a weirdo. Okay. She says to Angel, you should use your dress to wipe her. She says something like, go ahead, wipe her, wipe your friend of 20 years. It was very strange. It was very strange, very unnecessary. And I love Kiana because she says, oh, fuck off, Wendy. Fuck off, Wendy. Next caller. And then Stacy's like, I don't talk like that. And Kiana's like, yeah, you have your stupid QVC voice on. And then Stacy says, well, I wouldn't want to get chin checked. And everybody's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Not chin check. Okay. Don't talk about chin checking, Stacy. Like Stacy thought that she was in on it with the girlies. She was like, ooh, everybody's mad at Stacy and Angel. Oh, sorry, everybody's mad at Angel and Kiana. Maybe I can get on this fight. Maybe I can start yelling at Kiana. And then Stacy misread because she went too far in their opinion. Even though, if Giselle said something like that, they would have been like, LOL. But because it's Stacy, they're like, Stacy, that's too much. You need to be nice, Stacy. Anyway, next week, Jesse's going to show up to fight with people. The girls go on a trip. I think Tia's going to yell at Ashley. I saw a clip of that, just her yelling at Ashley, which I'm looking forward to. So all in all, the girls keep saying, we're not having fun. And I just want to say I'm having a blast. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has movies. So many movies. The movies you've seen 1,000 times and could watch 1,000 more. Iconic movies your friends can't believe you haven't seen. New movies, classic movies, new takes on classic movies. So whether you're into Top Gun or The Naked Gun, Mean Girls or Mission Impossible, Smurfs or Sonic the Hedgehog, there's a mountain of movies to discover on Paramount Plus. Start streaming today.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everyone. We're back. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We open up on the happenings around town. Heather and Angie are making coffees. And frankly, some of those coffees, like the coffee machines, they sound like farts. I would call that a farteboding, if you will, a foreboding of a fart situation later. Heather FaceTimes Angie, and she wants to know what's going on with her and Mary because of the whole storming off at the telepathic tasting event, et cetera, et cetera. And Angie said she just wants to have a chat with Mary because she does love Mary. And she also tells Heather that she just hates how she feels about herself after Lisa. She says that she feels guilty about the way that she behaves. But she also says, look, I reacted this way because I'm defending the group. Like, I feel defensive about the rest of the group because of how Lisa behaves. And Heather says, I think that if anybody's going to try to make Lisa better, which is possible, it's going to be this group. And it's going to be on this below deck super yacht trip that I've planned. I don't know, Heather. There's a lot of information that we're given this episode that tells me that Lisa Barlow is beyond saving. Anyway, Bronwyn and resident Grumpy Goose, Cranky Kringle, Todd go get ice cream. And just like the juxtaposition of Todd, this curmudgeon, being in a place that is so happy, like sprinkles and sunlight and ice cream and happiness and cherries on top and joy. It's just, it really highlights what a curmudgeon he is. Like, he's such a curmudgeon that he steals his wife's cherry right after she says, I hate that you steal my cherry. And he says, well, that's what I do. She's literally flabbergasted. And I really feel for Bronwyn because she is really fucking trying here. Like, it's actually uncomfortable to watch. You know, it's just weird. She's like talking about selfies and the girls and gossip and da-da-da. And anybody who has a husband who doesn't want to talk shit, like, you get it. Okay. My husband, when I come to him sometimes initially with gossip, he will do this thing where he's like, well, I don't know, what if da 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 da, or he'll process it and then like he'll usually tell me to like turn it down, you know, like I will be annoyed and I will tell him like what's pissing me off. And I usually come in pretty accelerated, if you will, and he'll de-escalate. And then 2 days later, he'll be like, when he realizes I'm not really as angry anymore, then he'll come and like talk shit with me, you know? So we've all been there. We've all been in situations where your husband is not willing to talk shit. But Todd hates it here. Okay. He absolutely hates it here. Like, Todd says, or actually Bronwyn says Todd is over this group of women. And like, honestly, Bronwyn, I'm over Todd. Like, stop filming with him. This is really difficult to watch. This isn't fun. It's so not fun that she eventually breaks down. Like, it's embarrassing. I have secondhand embarrassment watching this woman try to get her husband to like her. It's not fun. It gives me, it's not the ick. It's secondhand embarrassment is like the only thing that you could compare this to. And she finally breaks down. She's like, hey, dude, I'm fucking trying. Like, can you just be nice? And he does apologize, but like, woof.com, bro. Like, I don't want to watch this. Okay. Speaking of husbands, we go over to Lisa Barlow's house where she's packing for the yacht trip and she's chatting with John Barlow. And guys, this scene was eye-opening. Lisa doesn't know where Canawan is, and honestly, I can't even dog on her because I don't know where Canawan is. Okay. Anyway, she's telling John about the psychic reading, about Lisa's marriage, about them not being on the same page. And John Barlow confirms to us, I think, what we already know, which is like, no one's going to convince Lisa Barlow that she's wrong. Right. Lisa says in a confessional some things that unfortunately I do agree with, and it did resonate with me. You know, she says in confessional, like, I've worked with my husband for so long. There's a blurred line between like work and personal, and I do everything all the time and I'm fucking exhausted. And sometimes I hide in my car and I cry and I call my dad. And I mean, I get it. Unfortunately, you know, I understand that. She says some things later on, which I'll get to, but John says, you know, he doesn't want to share what he has to say because if they have an argument, it seems like John doesn't want to share what he has to say because Lisa has already convinced herself that she's right. And I'm going to repeat this a couple of times, this episode recap. If John Barlow cannot convince Lisa Barlow that she needs to change, then she's not going to change. Okay. In Lisa's defense, I have no defense of Lisa when the way she behaves with women. But I understand Lisa Barlow a little more in this interaction with her husband and then what she says in the confessional. She says something like, I want John to treat me like glass because he's the only one that can shatter me. And like, I hate to admit that like really resonated with me. Okay. Like, I get what she's saying. I get it. Like, John is clearly sick of her shit, but I also like get what she's saying, right? She says like there's a blurred line between like business and personal because we've been in business together for so long and I'm a bulldog, but like with you, I need to be like held with tenderness and softness in the words of Carl Radke. You know, like she wants softness and tender hugs. And I think I get it. I think any woman who is, I fucking hate the term alpha. Like she's not, I don't like that term. We're not going to use it. Any woman who is like the planner in their relationship, the person who's like more organized, like, and I'll speak for myself in my marriage, I for sure am like the planner and organizer and all those things. Like there are a lot of things that I do that in my marriage that in other marriages I often see husbands do, but that's fine with me. Like I like having control of a lot of things, but I think that what happens with the blurred lines is when you're like a aggressive or assertive woman, you often are treated like you don't need that tenderness. Like in my marriage, I know this is true. Like I was like cool girl. Like when I met my husband, I was like, oh, I'm not like other girls. Like I'm different. Like I don't need a man to do stuff for me, which is true. I don't need a man to do stuff for me, but I do still want to be treated like baby girl. I want to be treated like baby girl. Like with my husband, like I will handle everything. I don't need him to do much for me, but I also think that sometimes I do that. That's by design in my mind because if I'm doing everything, then he doesn't have to do anything besides treat me like baby girl. And that's all I want. Like I just want to be treated like baby girl. And I think Lisa wants to be baby gorgeous. I think she wants to be baby gorgeous. And when she says John can shatter me, I think that what she means by that is like when she and John have a disagreement and he doesn't have her back or he disagrees with her, which is like, Lisa, it's okay to have a husband who disagrees with you sometimes. But like when John is upset with her or when they don't see eye to eye, when she says he can shatter me, it's because I think all she wants from John is to be baby girl. Like, it's okay if everybody is mad at her and nobody wants to have her back, whatever. But as long as she has John Barlow, she feels like that's all she really needs. And I mean, this is the one thing where I will say, I get it. I understand where Lisa Barlow is coming from. And that's it. Okay. Anyway, next we head to Mary visiting Angie, and Mary's already annoyed. Okay, Angie didn't get the door. She didn't get the right drink. She's irritated. She's there to tell Angie off. Okay. And Angie starts with an apology to Mary and says, look, I get what you were trying to do. You were trying to de-escalate, but I can't deal with Lisa Barlow because it's like dealing with the bully on the playground. I have to defend my friends because of the bully on the playground. And Mary says, the bully on the playground that you're becoming. And I was like, oh. This goes to Mary dropping multiple truth bombs. Okay, she says, you can't get so mad where you start to see red. I can't even calm you down. Like, why am I there? I'm your friend. And if I can't calm you down, like, what am I doing here? And you're allowing somebody to get you this mad? Like, this is not normal behavior. Why are you so mad that you forget that anybody else exists? You see red. You launch out. Like, she says, you lunged at me. You got mad at me like I'm your enemy, you know? Mary says, I thought we were sisters and I'm not your sister. You have to find another one. And Angie's like apologizing. She's like, I don't want you to feel like you're on eggshells. Like, I don't want you to feel that way about me. And Mary says, I don't want to be around this kind of darkness, this mean behavior. I don't like who you're becoming. This is truly such a moving scene. You see true honesty, true connection, like real female friendship stuff. And then it takes a turn, and what happens next will be shared in a new segment that I'll be doing on my solo episodes. And so I'll take a little commercial break here, and we'll be back, and you'll get to see what I'm doing next. I'm doing something different today on my solo episode. I'm going to try to do this more often. And I'm going to take my favorite scene from this week's Housewives episodes and reenact them with a person. This week, the person is my brother. The show is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And the scene is the fart fight between Mary and Angie. Raheel, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Raheel will be here joining us playing the part of Mary. I will be playing the part of Angie. Are you ready?
I think so. Hold on. I was on the road for 10 hours today.
Great. You're perfectly loopy.
Yeah.
Okay. And action.
You're just in a space that's, I don't know who you are, and you're a little bit mean. Like when you made fun of my fart, you kept making fun, and then
I made fun of your fart?
Yeah.
Flashback. 1 week earlier, Mary and Bronwyn visit Angie. Cheers. Thanks for coming.
Oh, cheers.
Well, cheers on the couch too, but
It's just, I don't know why I'm farting.
maybe you should sit over there as far away from me. Sit over there if you've got gas.
If I've got gas?
At least Mary's warning us when she's ripping. So Mary's got gas. What else should we cover today? You usually smell good.
Well, I shouldn't have said anything because you're going to say it 100 times.
No. I'm done. We're done with the gas. Back to present.
First of all, the dog farted, and then you said, oh, maybe that's Mary. You said, oh, come on, Bronwyn?
Yeah.
Come on, Bronwyn. Oh, we better sit over here because Mary's got gas. And then your dog farts and smells the whole house up, and then you blamed it like it was my fart. I'm like, first of all, I eat healthy. My farts don't come out like that. And we should know the fart between my fart and a dog fart. And then you go, oh my God, Mary, is that you? Then both of you are like, I'm like, okay, I got it. And next time, I won't tell you when I fart.
Okay.
Seriously, I know if you farted and I smelled, I would never make fun of you. And you don't even know if I've smelled your fart before. Maybe I have, but I would never talk about it and make fun. Like, but you didn't smell my fart.
I didn't smell your fart, but you acknowledged that you farted.
I said I had gas.
Right. You said you had gas. So I said, why don't I sit over there?
Yeah, well, I was offended by it. Okay.
And seat. You did watch that clip. What did you think about it?
I try to understand the context of it. Like I try to understand who these two people are, like who they are to each other in their lives. Obviously, one of them is an African American woman.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is a white lady, and then there was a
Greek.
third lady. Okay, there's a third lady in there also that was also white. And I guess this is Salt Lake City.
That's right.
I don't know, man. Like it did not make me want to watch this show.
What?
Not at all.
What? Would it
if
feel any better if I told you that Mary is a pastor?
The farter is a pastor? No, it would not. Because here's the thing. Like if I want to have those conversations, I just have them with you. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to have a fight about farts, yeah,
you would just come to my house, fart, yes. And then I would berate you, and you would say, "You know what? I'm never coming over again."
Exactly. And instead of a dog, it would be one of your kids.
Yeah, it would. Well, right. Raheel, thanks for being here.
Very good. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Anyway, after the fart fiasco, Angie grabs Mary's hand and begs for forgiveness. And Mary's like, it's too soon. I'm not ready. Mary, the way she's talking about friendships, I was like, is she a Cancer? This feels very Cancer to me. Like, she's like, I'm the type of person, like, I have my walls up. And then when the walls are down, the reason I have my walls up is because when the walls are down, I love so hard. I love you so hard that, like, it will shatter me, in the words of Lisa Barlow. It will destroy me if you break my heart, you know? And so she says, like, it's because she might be a Capricorn, because she says, when you betray me, I can unmemorize your existence. Ooh, I love that. As a Virgo, I could never. This brain holds on to everything. Anyway, Angie says, you're my person. Mary's like, I didn't come here to cry. I came here to tell you off. They make amends. And Mary's like, look, it's going to be fine. I can't go on without you, but you need to get your shit together. And to that I say, amen. Okay. We head to a shopping scene with Heather and Lisa comes in cunty and bitchy as ever. Okay. She is the uppitiest, nastiest little bitch. Okay. In her cute little leather outfit. Like, she's like, let's act like I didn't get into a fight with my husband earlier. And she's just coming in there to take out all her frustration on these women. She's just, I bet working for Lisa Barlow is fucking torture. Okay. She's just, she's just mean as hell. Anyway, she's just being bitchy. She's like, I want to bring my glam. And Heather's like, no, you can't. You can't bring glam. And in the preview, we really see there's no we really saw all these women's real faces in the preview for the next episode. But Lisa's like, I don't want to get my makeup done by Whitney or by Angie. I don't trust Angie with anything. And then she's like, well, it's good Angie's going to be on the trip because Angie's never been on a luxury trip before, so it'll be nice for her. And Heather's like, look, we're not starting this. I'm not hazing Angie. Like, I don't know what this is. And Lisa's like, I'm sick of her attacks. I'm sick of Angie. She calls Angie a nasty bitch several times. And Heather says to Lisa what Mary said to Angie, which is, everything you hate about Angie is what you are doing. Like, everything you're saying that sucks about Angie is what you are doing, Lisa Barlow. And as usual, Lisa Barlow does not think that she's wrong. And I said this before, Heather, if John Barlow can't convince Lisa that she's wrong, you will not either. But she really keeps trying. In conversation, we find out that there's a suit man, not a soup man, which Lisa says, I don't know anything about the suit man. I just said it because whatever, because Angie said that I was cheating on my husband. I don't think Angie ever said that Lisa was cheating on her husband. I don't think Angie said anything about John. I think the whole thing was that Lisa said something about Angie borrowing money to pay for a trip. Angie said, I don't borrow money. Why would you say that? And then she threw all her credit cards and she said, I have credit cards in my names. Whose credit cards are you using? She's not saying, I mean, she's insinuating, but she's not saying, the person who said that you're cheating on your husband is Bronwyn. And you're too, Bronwyn is too smart to go after. So you're going after Angie. But Angie's not the one that said any of that. And then you just said this thing about the suit man. Now, I know the internet is talking about the suit man. I'll be honest, I haven't had time to look it up. Okay, I have not had time to do that research. But apparently there is a suit man. I don't care. I'm happy to hear it's not the suit man. But anyway, Heather says, you're going hard. You go so hard on people that nobody wants to have your back, Lisa. And Lisa starts to cry. And I get it. Heather is really trying. She says to Lisa, like, I don't know why you're crying. Why are you so upset? And Lisa's just like, all the tears that Lisa has, I think I would not be surprised if all the things that Heather is saying to Lisa are things that John has said to Lisa before. But so she knows it's true. She just doesn't want to do the work to resolve any of that. They talk, and I guess she kind of like walks her off a ledge. It's pointless, honestly, because Lisa is who she is. I want to talk about the wad of cash in Lisa's hands. This is going to take us down social media because something's been happening on the internet. Miss Lisa Barlow has a lot of fucking time on her hand. Somebody pointed out on TikTok that Lisa Barlow had paying for all that stuff with a big old wad of cash is an indication that something is happening. It's giving Teresa Giudice buying like $30,000 worth of furniture with cash and all that stuff. I think it was $8,000. I obviously there's a huge difference between $8,000 and $30,000, but $8,000 of cash in your wallet is a lot of fucking money. So Lisa Barlow, let me pull this up. Lisa Barlow says, let's see. Lisa Barlow commented on this person's TikTok that now got deleted because I wouldn't be surprised if Lisa went like ape shit on this person. But Lisa Barlow says, it was tip money. God, I was just trying to get Heather a thank you gift. Don't worry, I'm good. God, I won't ever buy a gift on camera again. Lisa Barlow's got a lot of fucking time for a very important person. She has a lot of time. She has a lot of time to be online. She's in the DMs. She's in the comments. Like, I think, Lisa, you would be a happier person if you just got off the internet. you know? I think she's always so defensive because she responds to every single thing people say about her online. Okay. And this is coming from me, a person who responds to anything that's ever said about her online. And I get probably 0.0000001% of the shit that Lisa gets. Right. But like responding to every single person is only going to make you angry. But let's talk about this comment. Tip money? What do you mean tip money? Who's tipping you money? I know that Lisa is like an event planner essentially. And I know that like for me, whenever I've like had a vendor or whatever, whether it be like a chef or like a decorator or anything, you do give them cash. But like, was this tip money from her bar? Shouldn't that money go to like wait staff? Why are you using tip money to, and what do you buy? What do you mean you're buying Heather a gift? She made you cry. What is this? It's alarming. It's weird, and I don't like it. We go to, speaking of things I don't like, we go to Brittany meeting with her 19-year-old daughter, Olivia, at a coffee shop, and boy, are the revelations in this scene jarring. I don't quite know what to make of this. Olivia's confessional is giving like a Netflix documentary. You know what? It's giving Netflix documentary. Like if you watch the Catfish Mom documentary, it's giving that. It's giving that. It's like about a mom who will one day go to jail for like I don't know, some nonsense. But the way she's talking about her mom, like my mom and I used to be so close, and then she got remarried and it just switched her brain, and now all she cares about is men. And look, it's a moving scene, but I think that what's really strange is I think what's really sad is like this whole sequence of like Olivia meeting her and them having this tearful conversation and her reading Brittany to filth, like all of this didn't get Brittany a snowflake. That's crazy. Why didn't Brittany get a snowflake? Is it because she won't like film in her house? Like, I don't know why. But that's crazy that this scene didn't get Brittany a snowflake. I mean, the fact that we've seen more of of Brittany at home than Whitney. Okay. Whitney's storyline is her pole dancing and her hair. And Brittany's here on camera being like, hey, so my daughter hates me. I'm gonna bring her on TV and she's going to read me to filth. And they were like, not good enough. Sorry. I do wonder, especially after what we find out at the end of this episode, I wonder if, because I could see, I think on the trailer for the next episode, the preview for the next episode, I don't think Bronwyn's on the yacht trip. So I wonder if they do like a little switchery. Do you think Brittany's going to get a tagline? That would be amazing. Anyway, Heather and Meredith meet at a parking lot, as these women in Salt Lake City do. This is all these women do. They love to meet in a parking lot. Okay. I don't know. Meredith talks about chipping a tooth and stubbing her toe and crashing her car. I don't know. But they talk about Lisa. And I do enjoy whatever Heather is doing here. Okay. Heather took Lisa shopping. She tried to talk Lisa down. She said, okay, Lisa doesn't want to play nice. She wants to be nasty and rude. And so I am just going to go balls to the wall anti-Lisa. That's what I'm doing. And I don't like Heather when she sucks up to people. I do enjoy Heather when she really gets into it to fight against the villain of the season, which is obviously Lisa Barlow, right? She's asking Meredith, like, why are you so nice to Lisa? I don't understand. Like, Lisa came for you. Obviously, what Andrea is saying is actually true. I don't know why you're so forgiving to Lisa. And, you know, similarly to how I felt about the women coming at Angel and Real Housewives of Potomac about forgiving Kiarna, I think that Meredith and Lisa have a much stronger friendship than Heather will ever understand. You know, unlike Meredith and unlike how Heather treats Whitney, Meredith and Lisa might have like a real friendship back there, you know? And so I think if Meredith wants to stay firmly Team Lisa, especially against Andrew, who talked about the rumors and the nastiness. Well, actually, technically, Meredith talked about the rumors and the nastiness, right? But still, I think Angie and Meredith are not good enough friends for Meredith to be anything but Team Lisa. And that is fine. I think that makes sense. So far in the season, it's obvious that Heather is trying to be engaged in a low stakes war against Lisa. I think that she thought that after the camping trip, she was going to meet with Lisa and Lisa was going to have some normalcy, but it's obvious that Lisa is coming in being like, I'm better than you, I'm prettier than you, et cetera, whatever it is that Ariana said. That's how Lisa's behaving. So I think that Heather realized, like, I think I'm better off fighting with this beast than trying to join teams with this beast. Anyway, we head to Whitney's house where Angie and Mary visit, and they're talking about their below deck preference sheets. It's very exciting. They're trying to get Mary to write her preference sheet. They keep having that clip of Mary repeating that she wants that 2003 Dom over and over again. I think she said it once, and the editors really want us to believe that Mary said it several times, but it's also possible that Mary said it several times because Mary did have a fight about a fart. So here's what I would want on my preference sheet. I think, just off the cuff thinking, I think for breakfast, I would say that I want, this is so basic, bitch. Actually, no, if I can go anything that I want for breakfast, if they're going to make like desi food too, I want leche paratha with 2 eggs fried over medium with crispy edges. Okay. I want aloo ki bhujia, and that's what I want for breakfast. Then I want for between breakfast and lunch, charcutes all the time. Some halal meats, halal deli meats, halal salami, some beef prosciutto. I think it's called like bresaola. I want some of that. I want charcutes. And all those charcuterie bites, they can be from Trader Joe's. I want the Trader Joe's little bites. I want the onion and feta brie baked thingies. I want spicy jalapeno chicken wontons from Trader Joe's. I want you to go into the Trader Joe's freezer section where they have all the little entertainment bites. I want you to get all of those. And I want that from like 11 a.m. to like 3 p.m. I want those things sort of like kind of warmed, sitting around for me to snack. And in the midst of all that, I want a massaged kale salad with a chili oil dressing and some chopped up dates and some walnuts in it and like maybe some grilled chicken on top. I want that salad. That's what, and some fresh Parmesan, but like not thinly, like the Parmesan like ribbons. That's what I want on that salad. And then for dinner, I want my mom's lasagna. I want lasagna with a yummy salad. No, here's what I want for dinner. I want steak. I want steak for dinner, but also pad thai. Actually, drunken noodles. There we go. That's the kind of stuff I would put on my preference sheet. Coffee ASAP as soon as I wake up. A handful of probiotics right in the morning so that I'm not constipated the whole trip. That's not too much to ask for. I don't even drink. I don't know what I would put for dessert. I think for dessert, I would say whatever the ice cream was that curmudgeonly Todd got, it was like raspberry. It was like raspberry swirl. I love that shit. Ooh, like a key lime ice cream. A key lime pie. That's what I want for dessert. Okay, that's it. Thanks. If anybody from Below Deck is listening, now you know my preference sheet. Doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. The preference sheet doesn't matter. The real tea is that we are gagged to find out what's going on with Bronwyn. Bronwyn is on the internet accused of identity theft, grand theft, and fraud. And was I like in a coma last year? Because I don't remember this coming up online. Or I think Salt Lake City does a really good job of not getting online and like doing all this other bullshit, because this was amazing. The fact that I didn't know about it is pretty good. Like they keep all of their storylines under wraps, but she's been accused of all this stuff. Bronwyn meets with Todd to talk about it, and Todd essentially is like, hey, this show is ruining you, so I don't know why you're going on this trip. You can go. I don't want to hear about it. I'm sick of these women. I don't want to hear about any of it. Bronwyn's like apologizing to Todd. She's like, I know that this puts your entire business and profession and personal and all on the line and da-da-da-da and all that stuff. But like, here's what's going on. Bronwyn says, it's a bunch of stuff that happened over 10 years ago. I don't know what the 2021 thing is. I have no idea. She says that it's been sealed, so she can't talk about it. And I saw someone online say, when things are sealed, there's a difference between something being sealed and there being a gag order. A gag order would be that she can't talk about it. Something being legally sealed means that you would have to go through a big process to get the actual documents, but that doesn't mean that Bronwyn's not allowed to talk about it. She's allowed to talk about it. She should talk about it and clear her name. But apparently all this stuff was settled. It's not great. It's not looking good. Maybe she committed some identity theft in college. Who knows? Do you think she, like other millennials, bought a bunch of CDs from Columbia House for 1 penny and then never did the rest of the deal? And then they came after her after she had money. That would be everyone's nightmare. Okay. We wouldn't have a penny to our names if the Columbia House people came after us for the 12 to 15 CDs that we bought for 1 penny and then didn't complete the rest of the deal. I hope that's what it is. They like superimposed this sound clip of Todd saying, it sounds like Todd said it in the background somewhere, like a hot mic moment, and they threw it into the scene, but he's like, I wouldn't piss on Lisa if her brain was on fire. Ooh, listen, Todd, I don't like Lisa Barlow either, but what I do not want to hear is a man talking about pissing on a woman, like her brain on fire. Don't get out of here. Don't say that. That's weird. I don't even like Lisa Barlow, but that's a weird thing to say. Okay, stay out of women's business, Todd. Anyway, next week, Angie gets seasick. Me too, girl. Me too. You better get some Dramamine patches. When I was on vacation this summer, we did 1 boat day where I didn't put on a Dramamine patch, and then the next day I did, and I felt better. But the first day, ooh, that was bad. It was real bad. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be releasing a Big Brother 6 recap with Donnie this weekend as well. If you enjoyed this, please do share some reviews and send me a DM, and I don't know, leave me a nice comment on Spotify and share with your friends and all of that. If you want to see video content of this episode, which I do recommend, go over to Patreon and subscribe there. And I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.